guys. So going into, obviously for students, the pandemic that we are in right now, of course, it's a hassle for everybody else, not just students, but now we need to rely on tech more than, before the pandemic started, because now schools are transitioning into the online world where, people need laptops, PCs, and electronic gadgets more than ever, just because of schools, students in particular, whether if you're at university or you're still, in high school. So in this video, I'm going to be, it's going to be basically a guide if you're a student, what laptop, you should need and what you should be looking for. Now, I'm going to be focusing, I'm going to be putting budget in mind because, of course, student loans are not a joke. And not everybody, has the ability to purchase high-end laptops. And most of the time, you could be fine with a $500 laptop, depending on your usage, anyways. Now, for laptops, let's just have the entire price lineup. You can get laptops that can basically barely do anything for $100, $200. Those are trash. I don't recommend them. They don't have specs. You shouldn't go for Windows under $300. If the laptop's under $300, Windows is not good for you. Go for a Chromebook instead. You're going to get a much better value out of it because a Chromebook, Chrome OS is light and it's not going to be, a very heavy, OS depending on the browser. It's not going to be very heavy, so Chromebook is light. So I don't recommend you go for Windows on a laptop under $200. You're going to regret it. So, and then again, Chromebook is not going to be, as useful as it is if you want access to Microsoft Office. And of course, you're going to need access to Microsoft Office if you're at a university or, still in high school learning, depending on what you're learning. But in most countries, they start learning, I think in high school, most of them, Microsoft Office. So a cheap laptop will not even be great for that. So I don't recommend you go for cheap $200 laptops. Now, the sweet spot for me, is from $300 to $600. This is the sweet spot. This is where you get, $600, $700. This is where you get the most, laptop for your money. So a laptop like this one here, this laptop here, this is the Asus E410 MA, I think, yeah. This laptop costs $375, and what you get in this laptop for this money is, number one, you get a pretty, light build. You get a decent, port selection. As you can see, the ports, there is, 2 USB-A ports, 3.0 by the way, and a micro SD card slot and a mic here. You have a headphone jack. You have a headphone jack here. This is the charging port. You have a USB-C port, but you can't charge it. This is just for transferring files. You get an HDMI port and a second USB-A port. This is a pretty decent, port selection for the price. And for me, ports are important because not every country, has switched to USB-C everything. There are a lot of schools in a lot of countries that, don't go through for USB-C. They haven't even heard of USB-C yet. They still use USB-A, so that's good. I'm in my area, we haven't really put USB-C to the use, so we still need those other ports. And extra versatility, why not? You get a micro SD card slot if you want to edit videos or photos, and if you want to expand the memory a little bit, and if you want to transfer files on here. The screen on this laptop is HD. It is I think 1280 by 720. The resolution is not the problem here. Of course, you're gonna get a HD to FHD resolution on a laptop. You can go for an FHD version of this, which is a little bit more expensive. But for me, the HD resolution is fine. It isn't about the resolution. If you're not that close to the display, you can't tell anyways. The brightness on the laptop, the brightness on this laptop is okay. Basically this is an example of a laptop that you can get decently for this price. Now, this laptop has an Intel Celeron M4020 processor, which depending on your usage, but you can basically it's gonna run Microsoft Office File on there, no problem, of course. This is actually better than the trash processors like the Intel Atom or the Intel Cherry Tail that you were getting on those $200 cheap laptops. This Celeron is actually, don't let the word Celeron fool you. If you're not doing intensive gaming on it, you can put line games on here. You can run, you can probably like run Minecraft on here fine, Among Us. Fortnite is gonna be running okay on here. You're not gonna be getting the most out of it. And if you want gaming on a cheap laptop, you can subscribe to a game streaming service like NVIDIA GeForce Now. Depending on where you live in, because this is not accessible in every country, but you can get still a VPN and things like that. So depending, if you want really gaming and you don't have money to buy an expensive system, you can get a NVIDIA GeForce Now subscription, or if you still have money left over, you can save up and get a console instead. Yeah, so for a laptop, this price is the sweet spot. You could go for $400 and $500. This is where you'll find the Core i5, Core i3s. Listen, like the Core i5, I would, if you have two laptops, one is a Core i3 and one is a Core i5, has a Core i5 processor in it, I would go for the i5 one. If we're talking 8th generation Intel processors, I will go through for the A5 one, because even though the i3 is cheaper, it's not that much cheaper. So I would recommend you go for an i5 if you want a laptop around $600. If you want up to $700, this is where you get the Core i7s. Now, the CPU is not all the storage. The processor is not all the storage. There's RAM management. There are a lot of stuff that go in the laptop, and design is one of them. And so there are a lot of laptops for $600 to $700 that offer these stuff. There are laptops from Lenovo. Lenovo is a great company. I recommend if you're looking for laptops. Asus offers decent laptops for the price. This is an Asus laptop that is decent for the price. There are a lot of companies that are looking for this. So if you want a laptop, I would recommend, if you want a PC, Windows, I would recommend from $300 to $600, $700. This is where you get the most that you need. And look for upgradability, because upgradability is the most important thing in a laptop. Because you're not going to be, I would much rather have a laptop that is upgradable than a laptop that isn't upgradable. This laptop is not very upgradable, but you can change the SSD on here, and this is what I care about the most. And you can change, the RAM on here. Not the RAM, the Wi-Fi card. One thing I hate about this laptop, though, is that it has, you can't change the RAM. Those are on board 4 gigs of RAM. Not that 4 gigs is a problem to me, but sometimes, you wish you could have more RAM. Depending on my usage, it's fine. But if you want a laptop and you need durability, get the laptop with the most upgradability options, because this is what you will want and what you will need, trust me. So yeah. Now, listen. So the one thing, listen. This is one thing that a lot of people do. They go for used laptops. Now listen, if you really need specs, go for used laptops. If you really need like something that is fast, go for used laptops, because you will get much better specs than a laptop which is brand new. But there is one caveat that doesn't let me get a used laptop. It is the warranty and the general quality of it. And there are bad people out there who are gonna scam you. And you will never, even if you try your best, you're never going to get the same treatment as you will get if you buy a brand new laptop. Warranty is something really underrated, I think, but it's something really important, because because warranty is especially, your laptop can break any day, and having a great company who can fix it, you don't need to drop it to break it. There are many internal flaws on a laptop. You can ship it with a bad battery or things like that. And the average user, I know if you're a professional, you know about technology, you're gonna upgrade it, the battery, things like that. But the average user or student doesn't know about those stuff. So getting a laptop that is brand new is better for those reasons, because you're getting much longer warranty on it, and you're just getting better treatment. To be honest with you, because I would much rather have great treatment than a laptop, even the laptop that has the best specs in the world. If you bought it used and the owner is, is a bad owner, or you never know what they did to the laptop anyways. They could have shipped it to you and removed a part. You never know, you know. When you buy second-hand use, there is more of a risk of a scam than buying it brand new. And buying it directly from the company, because the company doesn't want to let you. They want to do the impossible for their reputation to be intact. And basically, the reputation for a company is the most important thing. But if you bought a used laptop, even if you wrote an entire article about the company, it's your fault because you bought it used and you haven't bought it from them. That's why a lot of people recommend you go for when you buy something like a phone or a laptop, you go directly buy it from that company. Now, listen, these are not laptops, but I'm going to include them in here just because, you know, they're decent as well. 2-in-1s. Now, I'm talking about the Microsoft Surface Go, and I'm talking about the iPad, particularly the iPad Air and the iPad 8 generation. I don't know what it is. Between those, I would suggest, you know, the Surface Go is a really great option. It has decent specs for the money. It has an Intel Gold Pentium processor, which I think is going to be running fine, but it's not great for intensive games. But you need to buy an extra keyboard, and the port selection on it, you know, it's not great, but it's better than the iPad. But if you want, you know, something that, you know, performs, if you like Apple and you need to be in the ecosystem just because you have an iPhone, things like, go for an iPad, of course. But if you don't, go for this, you know, the Surface Go, in my opinion, is better than the iPad because it has, you know, it offers you better stuff for the money. Like, it offers you better port selection, and it's more like a PC. And when you were looking for a 2-in-1, you also need the PC part. The iPad, I'm talking about the budget end model. Now, you can get the iPad Air, but I don't recommend to be honest with you. I don't recommend the iPad Air because you could get basically the used iPad Pro for the same price. Certified refurbished, which is better than used because you still get a warranty and you still get it from Apple. If you want used stuff, get them from Apple. This is the only company I trust. I haven't gotten used stuff from other companies, but certified refurbished. Don't get them used. Get them certified refurbished from Apple's website. And now the iPad Air doesn't offer great value at all, so I don't think you need to go for it, even though because it's $600, the price is insane. You could get a decent laptop for that. So if you're looking for 2-in-1s, go for the Surface Go. This is my decent, always, you know, pick for me. Other than that, you get Chromebooks, but the Chromebooks, of course, you won't need them unless you do really light stuff on the laptop. So that's been it. Thank you guys for watching. Peace.